Dodo, Dodo. Dodo, Dodo. Dodo. Babies are inside. The geese are currently at the pond, to the best of my knowledge, still. They should be coming home any day, any minute now. The sun is going down, as you guys can see in the background there, potentially, maybe, somewhat. Oh, there it is. Hello, sun. And Dodo is out of the aviary so that Dodo and Bob can do some foraging. I need to go ahead and release the baby chickens in here so they can run around and live in here. Alright guys, it's your turn to play in here. Alright. No. Hey. What do you think you're doing, goofball? I'm gonna have to set you guys down so I can take this chicken and put her back where she belongs. Excuse me, ma'am. Thank you. Sorry about that. There's Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Dodo. Yes, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. Gotta dump another brooder. These are brooders. They need to be cleaned because goosies are messy. Dodo's following. Hey, Dodo. Hi, Bob. Dodo and Bob are gonna do some foraging and hang out. You know what's convenient is when you live in a country, you can just dump like the brooder contents because it's just poop and hay around your fence line or at random locations on the land, and it'll just wash away and decompose. And if you have enough acres, no one is the wiser, and it fertilizes the ground, so it works in every way, right, Dodo? Dodo. Dodo. I have all the dishes, all the brooder dishes, and we have the little goosies, and we have the water hose. I'm gonna do the first rinse. Just kind of soaks everything. Don't worry, we're gonna go hang out with the goosies in just a second. I'm doing my chores, my evening chores. Because guess what? Having little babies isn't just all fun and games. You have to do chores too. And clean poop. Just like human babies. When you have animal babies, you gotta clean them too. Right, baby? This right here is Bob. Bob is actually older than he looks. He is a mix between African production goose and an American buff goose. And he actually nearly died when he was a gosling. He was having seizures. He's my friend's gander, actually. And so I've been fostering him. I was able to save his life. And now if you look at Dodo, Dodo is a good 3 weeks, two weeks at least younger than him. And Dodo is larger than Bob, as you can see. Dodo is a Sebastopol goose. Come here, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. You say hi to everybody. Dodo. A Sebastopol goose is a goose that has curly feathers, and Dodo is a saddleback Sebastopol. Absolutely gorgeous. Gonna be a beautiful goose, and Dodo is ours. Look at that. Pretty picture. The sunset in the background. Little gosling foraging away. We also have little bar-headed goslings. They are much smaller. They're only, let's see, we just looked it up yesterday. They're only 3 weeks and 4 days old. And then Bob is probably a good, not 10 weeks old, probably somewhere around there. So he should be bigger by now, but he is definitely much smaller than he should be. But he's doing well. He's still gaining weight. He's still growing. He is doing all right. He's definitely improving over time. He just kind of got a little stunted there. And Dodo is about 7 weeks old. So, yeah. Lilac. Be nice, Bob. Yes, be nice, Bob. Hi, Bobby. 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 Dodo. What you getting, baby? Come on, Dodo. 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 Come on, babies. Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Dodo, Dodo, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. You're getting so big, Dodo. So I've raised Dodo up from scratch. I hatched Dodo out myself. Dodo was supposed to have a sibling, but Dodo's sibling's egg didn't make it. So sadly, the other one didn't develop. But we hatched Dodo out ourselves, and then because Dodo was a single gosling, Dodo spent most of their time, literally like 99% of the day with me. Like, we're talking, if I was working outside, Dodo was outside with me. If I was cooking in the kitchen, Dodo was in the kitchen with me. If I was taking a nap or going to sleep at night, Dodo was in a clear bin with a lid that has holes in it, which is currently being used by the bar-headed goslings, and literally sitting on my mattress right next to my head, next to my pillow, so that Dodo could see me all night. Because Dodo was a single gosling, fully imprinted on me, and therefore would scream her little butt off, or his little butt off, when I wasn't there. Yes, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. Yes, baby. And if you hand raise a gosling, it's really important that you find a way to socialize them with other geese, at least with other birds, but preferably with other geese, because it does teach them boundaries. Every time Dodo flaps the wings and does the big bird thing, like, she hops. Like, she hops up and down. It's pretty funny. Anyway, but yeah, so if you have a single gosling, if you're raising geese, and for some reason you end up with a lone gosling, like, it's no joke. This is a 24/7 hour job. This is the equivalent of having an infant human, and they should not be by themselves. They should have someone with them at all times. Like, raising geese up is no joke. Unless you want a goose that is not going to like you or have any connection to you, you're going to want to put in that time. And that time, when I say that time, I'm referring to 6 to 8 weeks of pretty much nonstop interacting with them and being there for them and replacing that mother that would have normally been there for them. I own another 12 geese that are adults. They're currently at the pond, and I can interact with almost every single one of my geese. There's only 2 of them that have been with me from a younger age or from baby age that I can't pet. And the reason why is because one of them got to me when she was 6 months old, and she was goose raised, so she has never had anything to do with humans. And then the other one was with me since she was a baby, but she was something called pinioned. When they're pinioned, they literally take, when baby geese are born, even though the goose is about this big, right? Their wings are only like this big. Like, literally the whole wing, if it's stretched out, is only about this big. So what they do is they take the very tip of the wing and they clip it off. They cut it off, okay? It's called pinning. No, I didn't know that the breeder was going to do that. I had no idea. Anyways, she's a Canada goose. I think it scared her that that was her first interaction with humans, to have something like that done. None of my other birds are pinioned besides the 2 birds that I got from that breeder at the same time. And Blue, one of those birds, she's real skittish. She doesn't like being touched at all. She likes to have her distance, and I allow it. I mean, I'm not going to, like, try to force it or anything. I do my best to earn her trust. And she does come to me when she needs things, but she just doesn't want to be touched. And that's fine, you know? And that's the other thing, is a lot of people assume that just because you hand raise a goose that you're going to be able to, like, hold them and cuddle them and have them on your lap all the time. When in reality, each individual goose is going to be different. So not every goose is going to be super cuddly like some of those pet geese you see out there. And geese are social creatures, so it's always best to have two of them. Like right now, Dodo's hanging out with Bob. Bob is, from my understanding, most likely going to be leaving tomorrow. So at that point, Dodo's going to be getting introduced to the bar-headed goslings, which are much smaller, so that's only going to happen with supervision. But then in the future, Dodo will have the bar-headed goslings that are going to become friends with with Dodo. And then when it's time for Dodo and the bar-headed goslings to join the main gaggle, at that point is when we're going to be able to put in a separator to keep everyone safe. Because they're not just going to magically accept everyone into the gaggle. It takes work and effort, and it's a process. And gaggles, they work as a team. So if they decide that you're an intruder, or that, like, say, Dodo was an intruder, in that case, the entire gaggle would work together to then try to run off Dodo. And because of that, in the beginning, Dodo and the babies, once they're connected, will spend their days in this aviary right here. And that way, they'll be able to interact. They'll be able to interact with the rest of the gaggle without being at risk. Dodo! 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 Where you going, Dodo? Dodo! Where you going? Where you going, Dodo? What you doing, baby? It's kind of funny is that when I walk away from Dodo, Dodo! You're not gonna do it? So half the time, or most of the time when I walk away from Dodo, Dodo will actually give out this like really strange scream, calling for me, which is adorable, sad, and funny at the same time. Yeah, Dodo. Yes, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Yes, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. What, Bob? Hi, Dodo. Yes, babies. And that's another thing. A lot of people think that geese nibbling on your clothes and nibbling and nipping your skin is like them biting. When in reality, that's just simply part of communication. Y'all got to keep in mind that if a goose goes over to another goose and does this is not going to hurt them. This does not hurt them because they have layers upon layers of feathers and down. Like y'all are not like this. I'm not even able to show you guys her skin because it's all the way under there, under multiple layers of feathers. So for them, when they nip on us and they nibble on us, that's just part of their form of communication, and they're not doing that to hurt us. You know, like once you have geese and you pay attention to it, you're going to notice the difference between a goose trying to bite you and a goose that's literally just communicating and curious. 90% of the time, they're just curious. Now, keep in mind, I'm referring to domesticated geese. Notice how I say domesticated, not domestic, because a domestic goose would be these guys. These are domestic geese, meaning that these are geese that are used for farming and for show competitions and things of that nature, right? Whereas I also own other kind of geese, different kind of geese that are considered exotics, and that would include Canada geese, bar-headed geese, and a cackling goose. And I also have a Canada hybrid. And a Canada hybrid would be a Canada goose that is mixed with a domestic goose, which is my gander Pretty Bird. And Pretty Bird is actually my oldest goose. He is 5 years old. He is a very, very good boy. He has his moments. And the reason he has his moments is because he's a gander. And y'all are going to get to see them soon. Right now I'm just getting these boxes cleaned up so that I can get them set up for the babies. So I can put Dodo and Bob to bed. And then once Dodo and Bob are in bed, we're going to do lockup time for the rest of the geese. Now the reason why they still have these boxes is just where they sleep. This is not where they spend their days. But the reason they still have these boxes is because they sleep inside. That's right. These babies are still sleeping inside. Not because they can't be outside at this age. They are 100% fine sleeping outside. If you were to be raising your own babies and you have several goslings, you would be completely fine putting them outside into a goose coop or into some sort of structure that keeps them safe from predators. Now in my case, as I explained earlier, Dodo is a lone goose. Even though we have Bob here right now, Bob will be leaving soon. He does not belong to us. So I want to make sure that Dodo has friends before she ends up joining the rest of the gaggle, because otherwise it'll be the whole gaggle and then her by herself, right? If Dodo has two more friends, the two bar-headed goslings, and then they have bonded with Dodo and they create their own little gaggle, which will be much easier at this age because Dodo's technically still a gosling and the little babies are still obviously goslings. So at that point, it'll be much easier for me to get them to connect to each other, to bond as a gaggle. And then once they're ready, once the bar-headed goslings are big enough, old enough to go outside, which will mean that Dodo will be much older at that point, and I can put them out together and then put up a divider between my adult geese and the goslings. So they're in the same area, but they have something protecting them overnight so that the rest of the geese can't hurt them or do anything, and they're able to spend time with each other and get desensitized. And then during the day, at some point, once they're fully grown and they've had enough time around each other to desensitize, which still, they won't just magically get along. It's still going to take time. But at that point, Dodo and the bar-headed goslings will start free ranging. And I don't know why I'm throwing this thing on the floor. There we go. And then at that point, Dodo and the goslings will start free ranging as adults. And when they free range, they have that ability to get away from the larger geese, from the older geese. They'll be able to keep their distance. And what's going to kind of happen most likely is that they're kind of going to exist further away from the main gaggle, but close enough to still kind of be around them. Basically benefiting from the numbers without being too close to get in trouble. And then once they are around them like that and kind of keeping their distance, over time, the rest of the gaggle is going to become more and more desensitized to the rest of these goslings, and they will eventually be accepted into the gaggle. This is how it goes, literally every single time. This is how the process is. They're not going to like them in the beginning, but over time they'll start accepting them, and they'll become part of the gaggle just simply automatically over time. But you need to take certain precautions in most cases to make sure that your gaggle does not hurt the younger geese, because in all reality, baby geese are baby geese until they're about a year old, okay? Just because they're fully grown does not mean that they're adults. usually in the wild, when we're talking about exotic breeds, generally a wild, say for an example, Canada Goose will remain with their parent until they're approximately 11-ish, 10, 11, 12 months old. They will remain with their parents. Not like not by them, like when they were babies, but they will stay close enough that they can see them and interact with them, and most of all, learn from them. Because they need to learn migration routes, they need to learn how to stay safe. Sorry, turning off the water. They need to learn how to stay safe. They need to learn how to identify and how to respond to predators. They need to learn how to forage and how to look for food. So there's a lot of different things that these babies need to learn before they can be fully on their own. My little cackling just spotted them. Dodo. Dodo. I gotta get my towel, Dodo. Hello, Rubik. Just hanging out, getting the brooders ready so that the babies can go to bed. Come on, Dodo. Dodo. Where you going, Dodo? Dodo. You're gonna get your butt whooped. You're gonna get your butt whooped. Squirt does not like visitors. So we have our little Squirt. Squirt is a cackling goose. She is she's basically a miniature version of a Canada Goose, literally. She's a cackling minima, is literally what her name means. This is Squirt right here. Here's some of our chickens. Squirt prefers to hang out with the chickens throughout the day. You see how tiny she is? She's a full-blown adult. She's 3 years old. I know, Squirt. I know. You might see her charging. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Bob. Let's go. Yeah, it's Dodo. Come on, baby. Come on, Dodo. And just for anybody that might be new watching this right now, this is Dodo. She's a Sebastopol Gosling. We don't know for sure if Dodo is a she or a he. And that is Bob. He is a American buff mixed with African production Goose. And these are both Goslings. Dodo is actually much younger than Bob, but Bob was stunted in growth a little bit because he had a situation that nearly took his life when he was much smaller. We need to go get some hay. Ready, Dodo? Let's go get the hay before the big babies come home. Come on, Dodo. Dodo. Come on. Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, Dodo. Dodo. Dodo, Dodo, Dodo. Dodo. Come on, Dodo. I know you want to go foraging. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Dodo. And if you guys have any questions about geese, or maybe you've been looking into getting some exotic geese and you don't know how or how that works in the US, or you think it's not possible, because, well, most people think that when they Google, no, Canada geese are a species that is federally illegal to own, they think that's the only answer that there is, when in reality that is not true. I legally own 7 Canada geese. I legally own 2 bar-headed goslings, which are literally from Europe. And alright, the connection might be a little crappy here because I gotta walk into this middle building right here to get some hay. And yeah, all the metal between here and the house and between, well, the world seems to mess with the connection. Well, look, a little crawfish managed to make a little home right there. That's funny. Let's see. Let's turn on the light. Here we go. All right. Excuse me, Dodo. Go, Dodo. You're okay, baby. get in the hay real quick. Let's see. Make sure I have enough. I need it for 3 rotors, and then the 4th one that the little babies are in right now. Because they have a transport brooder that I use for them, like that little clear bucket I told you guys about. I use that one for carrying the babies around whenever I want to take them with me somewhere, which is often usually. Come on, babies. Come on. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Bob. Bobby. Come on, babies. 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 And as soon as these guys go to bed, I'm going to take you guys with me to go get the rest of the Gaggle so that we can go ahead and lock them up. And y'all can meet them or see them again, depending on who you are or whether or not you've been on our channel before. Just so you guys know, my videos are pretty much raw. I'm just trying to show you guys what it's like to own geese, what it's like to raise geese, the kind of work it entails. And yeah, I don't really do a whole lot of editing. I tried it a couple of times, but I kind of feel like it's, I don't know, kind of counterproductive for me, because I'm actually trying to show you guys what it's like to own geese. And if I edit a whole lot of this stuff, I'm basically taking away from the process of what it really is like. Come on, Dodo. Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Come on, Dodo. Dodo. Come on, Dodo. 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 Hi, Dodo. Hi, Dodo. Yes, Dodo. Come on. Now, I'm going to take the hay over here where it's not wet, or not as wet. Put it right here on the grass, like so. And then I need to dry these, because I just got done cleaning them. Had some time to drip out this way. And now I start to dry, and the babies will hang out while I do this. I'm hoping that my geese are going to do well again tonight and come home without me having to go get them from the pond. They've been doing that lately, which has been lovely, not having to go back there and go get them every night. But you never know. I always say, owning geese, see, look, I'm working. So, of course, a gosling is going to have to come over, or a goose is going to have to come over and come nibble on my boots, my clothes, and on whatever it is that I'm working on and touching, because they're curious. They are very curious little creatures. I'd even say I have got cats on this property, several cats, mind you, because I was a doofus and fed stray cats. So I've got several cats living on this property currently. They're not really mine, but, you know, it is what it is. And if I'd have to say who's more curious, it's geese, without a doubt. Geese are easily the most curious animal I've ever owned. They are very mischievous, very curious, very goofy, like to get into stuff. They're very stubborn too. Like, if y'all thought that birds can't be stubborn, you haven't met geese yet. So, just saying. If there is a stubborn bird out there, it's the goose. Alright, let's see. Go ahead and finish drying this real quick. Doesn't have to be perfectly dry, just Lord knows they're going to dump their water within minutes. Because that's what goslings do. And then I'm going to take some hay and put it in there. And then Bob's ready to go inside. This one's Bob's box. And then Bob's going to get to go in. And I'll be finishing the little one later because it is starting to get later. So I want to make sure to get these guys inside so that I can go and make sure that my adults come home, my adult geese. And that's really going to be probably a very interesting part for most people because most people have never seen a Canada goose that does not attack people. Like a Canada goose that's nice and that will interact peacefully with humans. So that's the thing is most people think that the interactions that are caught on camera when Canada geese are not geese necessarily, the ganders, when they are defending their mates and their goslings and they attack humans because it's mating season and they got little babies. A lot of people seem to think that that's the norm, that that's how Canada geese will always behave, which is completely false. It is 100% inaccurate. Canada geese have no reason to waste their time with us outside of making sure that we leave their families alone. So yeah. And of course, for some food. And now I'm going to take this over here to the door. And then I'm going to call my child and tell her to take this into the living room. Do. Melody? Yes. Can you please come get the box? In like 5 minutes, I'll have Dodo's ready too. I'll give you Bob right now as well, okay? All right. Now I clean the red one. Well, not clean it, dry it. Dry the red one. And this is the process. This is part of owning geese. A lot of people don't know that there's a lot of work that is involved in owning cute little baby birds that follow you around everywhere. You generally cannot potty train them, birds. That's not how their digestive system works. So they're gonna poop pretty much all day long. And it's up to us to clean that up. And if you want to own these adorable little babies, which, by the way, don't get me wrong, they come with so many benefits. Like, obviously, if I didn't love owning these guys, I wouldn't own them, right? But they also come with a lot of work and a lot of responsibilities. And it is absolutely vital that you put in the time and learn about these animals, especially before you get them, before you own them, because they are very much dependent on us taking the time not only to know about them so we can feed them and care for them, but also understand them so that we don't misunderstand their behaviors. We can make sure that they're healthy and happy. We can understand the symptoms for when they're sick and many other reasons. And also to make sure that they don't feel alone or get depressed, because that is also a factor. Geese will get depressed. Geese imprint for life. So when they imprint on you as a gosling and they think you're mama, that means you're part of the gaggle. That means you're part of their flock. Okay? So if you leave them, especially if you stop spending time with them, to them, that's a sad thing. That's something that actually breaks their heart. And I'm not humanizing geese. This is a fact. It's a basic facts about these animals. They have a very strong bond that they create with their parents, with their gaggle, and with their mate. The worst thing that can happen to a goose is for them to lose their mate. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Like the stories about how if a swan loses their mate, they'll die. Well, geese do too. That's the part a lot of people seem to leave out, is that geese, just like swans, will often die of broken heart if they lose their mate. And they become so depressed that they stop eating and pass away. Now, this is more common with wild breeds of wild breeds of geese. So like exotic geese, like Canada geese, snow geese, cacklings, bar-headeds, things like that. Here you go, Melody. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the goosies. Get them inside. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to go ahead and set you guys down for a second so I can grab the geese and hand them to my daughter real quick. So just a moment. I'll be right back and we'll go get the adults. Yes, Dodo, I know. Come here, Dodo. Dodo. Good job, boys. Night-night, Dodo. Or night-night. Let's go. Night-night, Dodo. Come here, Bob. Hi, Bob. Let's go, Bob. Come on, Bob. Look at your babies. Let's go. Let's go. Come here. Oh, my goodness, Bob. Oh, my goodness, Bob. There you go, Bob. You're okay. Let's go.
I know.
The reason why you guys heard Bob cry, but not Dodo, love you too, baby, is because, hi, Janelle. Yes, we have been. Thank you. The reason why you heard Bob cry and not Dodo is actually because Bob does not like being picked up as much, whereas Dodo has no problem being picked up and handled. Part of the reason for this is because I did not want Bob to imprint on us too much since Bob's not staying, and I didn't want Bob to be upset once he left. I'm going to go ahead and set you guys down for a minute because I need to run inside and grab something real quick, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's go get the goofies. They're not home yet, so. Oh, shoot, babe. Can you turn on the outside light when you get a chance? Thank you, babe. All right, let's go up. Wait, I may have been wrong. Looky there. And the Gaggle has done it again. Look at you guys. Good job, babies. Good job, babies. Look at you being good babies. This is my Gaggle. Oh, hi, babies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, everybody's here. This is my gaggle of adult geese. The ages range from 5 years to 1 year old. And whenever they go down to the pond lately, and trust me, I don't want to jinx this, but whenever they go down to the pond lately, they've been coming back home right as it gets dark. And it's amazing. There's a squirt right here. I showed her earlier. She's a little cackling goose. She's like a miniature version of Canada geese, which are these guys. I own regular Canada geese. I hope to one day own some giant Canada geese. They're basically bigger than these Canada geese, as their name suggests. They are the largest of the Canada goose subspecies. And they have a unibrow, like a white unibrow that goes above, right above their eyes. And I think it's just so adorable and cute and funny. So yeah, I hope to one day own some of those. Hi, Layla. This is Layla, my American buff. This white one right here, but she's actually a golden color, like a buff golden color. And she's absolutely gorgeous. She's my golden goose. And then right next to her right here, you see Pretty Bird, kind of like in front of her right now. That's Pretty Bird, my hybrid gander. Hi, Pretty Bird. Pretty Bird, come here. Come here, Pretty Bird. Hi, baby. Come here, Pretty Bird. Pretty Bird. Come here, babies. Hi, babies. Oh, come on, babies. Hi, ducky. Wait, no, you're not ducky. Wait, you are ducky. Let me see you. You're ducky. Hi, ducky. Hi, ducky. Hi, ducky. Ducky. Come here, baby. Ducky. What, Pepper? Mama's just picking grass. Well, now you come to see me. Now that you think I have food, you come to see Mama. What? Baby in a butt, Pig Bird. What you doing, Sarah? Hey, Spike. Hi, baby. Hi, babies. I don't have any food on me, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I know. Hi, babies. As you guys can see, they're all very tame. I can walk right into my gaggle. The only one that might nip at me is Pretty Bird. See? But that's because we're right at the end of mating season. He's still very sensitive and protective of his gaggle. The only other goose that really doesn't like me, of all the geese I have, even though I've had this one since it was a baby, is this one. Peach. Wait, watch. You guys see that? The reason why Peach doesn't like me is because Layla and Pretty Bird raised Peach up. And Peach is Layla's baby. So is Dino. That's Dino right there. Dino belongs to Layla as well. And Peach is the only baby of Layla's that we kept, that we allowed Layla to raise up. And Layla has a special bond with Peach, always has had a special bond with Peach. So we've allowed her to keep Peach so that she could keep one of her babies from her first clutch, meaning the first time she'd ever hatched eggs, which was with us. We allowed her to keep one of her babies, even though that baby is not human friendly. Peach is 1 year old now. Dino is also Layla's baby, but Dino is one of the eggs that we actually took from the nest and then hatched inside in the incubator. And then Dino was hand raised. So, like, whenever Dino feels like it, she'll come over, she'll cuddle with us, we can pet her, we can pick her up, hold her up by one hand. Like, she's really, really friendly. But then, of course, she has her moments if she's protecting her nest, where she's laying eggs. She's not going to want us to mess with that. But interesting fact, though, and there's actually a little short about this. that shows how Dino behaves very differently with me versus my daughter, where Dino doesn't trust me with the nest and will like nip my hands and basically tell me to get lost if I try to touch her while she's anywhere near the nest, or if I try to go near the nest. Whereas my younger daughter, who's in her early teens, who was the one that raised Dino, my daughter can walk up to Dino when Dino's sitting on a nest, laying an egg, standing outside of the nest, whatever. My daughter can walk up to the nest, mess with the eggs. It doesn't matter. Dino will not get mad at my daughter, ever. It's pretty funny, actually.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I even went in. Funny.
Alrighty, and now I need to go and catch the baby chickens. You guys can see them a little bit better in better light. Hi, babies. Hi, babies. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Come here. That's Blue. She doesn't like being touched. Hey, y'all. Be nice to Layla. They're literally eating dirt out of here, as you guys can see. And what this is actually grit for them. And they will eat mud, dirt, and small rocks, and like sand. And the reason they eat this is because the way their stomach functions is they need the grit and this dirt to like basically scratch up and mash up the grass that they eat all day long. And then by eating that, it helps them get more nutrition out of the vegetables and leaves and grass that they eat throughout the day. Right, babies? Nom 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 nom. I don't have food on me, babies. I don't have food right now. I don't have food right now. I don't have food right now. Pretty bird. Hi, Dino. Hi, Dino. Hi, baby. Hi, Dino. Hi, Dino. Yes, Dino. Hi. Y'all be nice to each other. Pretty bird. Did you have a good day today, pretty bird? Huh? Did you guys have fun at the pond? What you doing, babies? What's up, Petrie? Getting some grit too? Did they not let you? And this is one of the many things most people don't know about geese, is that they actually eat rocks and dirt and sand to aid their digestive system. Anyways, I gotta go in the front yard and go get the baby chickens in the kennel so we can move them into their nighttime enclosure. Since we just let them out in the aviary for a while. And then once we have them put up, I'm gonna turn the water back on. And I'm gonna need to freshen up the water that was in the aviary because my geese spend their nights in the aviary. Now they do have security system and everything here, but they do spend their nights in the aviary where they have that good airflow and they're outside and they're not in like a hot coop overnight. This is specific to the summertime that I do this. And they are in an area of the house where there won't be like, basically there's a lot of shade. That's the part, like the area of the yard that they're in. Come on, babies. bucks. Come on, bucks. Come here, bucks. Come on. Come here, bucks. Come here, little bucks. Come here. Come on, bucks. Hi. Good job. Come on. Mama needs to move, you guys. You guys getting a nighttime snack? I know you don't wanna. Hi. I think you might be a roo. I think you might be a roo. I'm gonna have to set you guys down for a second so I can grab these babies and put them in a kennel. You're okay, baby. You're okay. No, you guys stay inside. There we are. And they're ready for transport to go over to the chicken coop where they have their own little kennel, which again keeps them safe to the rest of the flock, until the rest of the chicken flock is used to them and won't hurt them. And they're a little bit bigger so that they can defend themselves and they're not as vulnerable to the other chickens. Because that's pretty much the biggest issue when it comes to adding more babies to your flock or to your gaggle. Gaggle being a group of geese, flock being a group of most other birds, is that you want to make sure that when you add babies, that they're safe. Looky there. Spiders are just loving this aviary. Sorry, sweetheart, you cannot have a house here. Hey, you're supposed to go on the floor. Thank you. What do I do? Let me see you. I don't see a violin, so I do not believe that is a brown recluse. Could be wrong. See, I'd use my stick and go in circular motions as I walk towards the back of my aviary, because there are so many spiders over here. You can't blame them though. This is a perfect spot. My birds are right underneath the predator light to keep predators away. So it kind of makes sense that since there's a light over here, that there would be a bunch of spiders that would make themselves at home here. You too, booger. Go on. Go on. Thank you. Let's see. Another one here. Are you off? Did you get off? I believe so. And then we have some more over. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and they're everywhere, guys. But that's what happens when you live in Texas. And whoosh. And now I can grab this, which is one water source. And I need to dump this one out. Of course, it's made all messy by the goslings. And then I have a second water source. And after this, I'm going to have to move this aviary again soon. And I'm telling y'all, I moved this aviary not that long ago. This aviary was recently moved. But when you're keeping 12 geese, even in a 19 foot by like 9 foot 6 feet, 9 feet. Yeah, 9 feet. I think it's 9 feet. Anyway, it might be 6 feet. It might be 18 by 6. I think it's 18 by 6. Yeah, 18 by 6. Anyways, regardless, when you're keeping a bunch of birds in this area, 12 geese, you'd be surprised how fast it'll get dirty. Because, again, all this ground, what you see here, the mud and everything, this was all like this. Like nice, long, lush grass. And we moved them probably like 3 or 4 days ago. And you can see it's all gotten trampled and eaten and pooped on. And that's just part of the game. That's part of it. Birds are a lot of work. Here's the nest that my birds are using. These eggs are sadly not fertile. You can tell the old ones from the new ones. That would be a new egg. And sadly they're not fertile because my gander is a hybrid and he is not fertile. So that's a bummer. We confirmed that earlier this year. Because regardless of what everybody else says, I'm still going to check and make sure that I have the right information and that my gander is actually not fertile. And that it's not just something where there just wasn't enough research done. Because that's the thing with geese is that a lot of the knowledge on geese is based on personal experience. And then there's been very few study pieces done on geese. Most of the knowledge we have about geese has some sort of connection to studies that have been done on ducks. And then small studies where they've tried to confirm it with the geese. Hey, Simba. Hi, buddy. Simba is our barn cat. And he is the bestest livestock guardian cat. That's what we call him, a livestock guardian cat. Let's see. Hi, White Banana. Yeah, I'll agree. I like it better when the eggs are fertilized so we can hatch out babies. So it is what it is. You don't always get what you want. And your other question, we own chicken and we own geese. So chickens and geese. The chickens belong to my daughter and the geese are mostly mine, which is why I do most of the work when it comes to the geese. And my daughter. And my daughter does most of the work when it comes to the chickens. Besides the chickens and the geese, the other animals that we own currently are a livestock guardian dog in training. You saw our cat. We have 2 cats that we own. And then several strays that we've been feeding and looking after because, well, I don't like leaving the animals to starve, no matter how much I don't have the money for them. And then we also have some cockatiels. And we have a bearded dragon. And that is it. Yep. I currently have duck eggs in my incubator, but those duck eggs are not mine. They are going to be going to my friend because they are my friend's eggs. Well, you know, you kind of just have to start somewhere. White Banana. I mean, with Pretty Bird, and I'm not saying this was the right way to go about it because Pretty Bird actually started as a homeschool project, my first goose. It was a homeschool project for my kids, and we hatched out this goose egg that we'd gotten at a yard sale, And he turned out to be this gorgeous hybrid. We'd fallen in love with him long before we knew he was a hybrid. We were going to keep him regardless. Then we found out he was a hybrid and that he was really special. And from there came the adventure of trying to find him friends. And I started finding out that you could legally own Canada geese. So for us, it's mostly exotics. But would I start with chicken or geese? Well, it depends on what kind of person you are and how much time you have. If you're home, I don't know if you're male or female. I don't know if you're an adult or a child or a young adult or a teenager. But say for an example, if you're a stay-at-home wife or mom, then it really doesn't matter. I mean, the thing is that chickens will also benefit you in the sense that chickens will lay eggs year-round. Mostly, most breeds will lay eggs year-round. And then that way you get eggs from your chickens. And you do not have to have a rooster to get eggs. So you can just have chickens and your chickens will lay eggs. It doesn't matter if you have a rooster or not. But those eggs will not be fertilized. Yeah, if you start with chickens, there's a lot more information out there and it can help you with gaining experience. With geese, if you want to get geese, you're going to want to start always with 2, never just with 1. And I would say make sure you do your research on the breeds because there's many different breeds and many different personalities and temperaments. I personally am not a big fan of African or Chinese geese. They are significantly louder and just personally, they're not my favorite. And there are some breeds where just because of the breeding, the males are more likely to be more aggressive because humans have bred them for meat or eggs or feathers, but they didn't pay attention to the animals' personalities as they were breeding them. And temperament really does make a big difference in breeding. So you're going to want to go to it's much better to go to a reputable breeder than to get your geese from Tractor Supply, which those geese generally will come from a hatchery. And the same thing comes with chickens. Some of the healthiest chickens will come from backyard breeders. But again, you're going to want to get one that you can see the place, you can see it's clean, you can see that the chickens are living a good life, that they look healthy before just getting eggs or baby chickens from a random location. That would just be what I would advise. There you go. So you'd have a lot of time. I mean, not necessarily time, but you have the ability to be around your animals throughout the day. Because that's the biggest factor when it comes to goslings. When you're raising goslings, you're going to want to be available to them all day long, especially during the first 8 weeks of their life. Because they're going to see you as their mom or as their parent. And it's a really big deal to them. Think of it this way. If a gosling can't see their parent or loses their parent in the wild, that's the equivalent to death. For them, that's a death sentence. So when they cry for you when you leave them, that's because they're panicking and they're terrified. So that's why I always say, if you're going to get goslings, if you really want them to be imprinted on you and you want them to follow you around and all that, be prepared to spend literally a lot of time with them. And don't just get 1. Make sure you have at least 2. But with geese, I 100% would recommend that you do a lot of research about them, that you check out different channels about geese, that you join some goose groups on the internet, like on Facebook or something, that you find yourself some goose groups and talk to people there and talk to their opinion about different goose breeds. You're going to want to decide if you want to get into exotics, because if you want to get into exotics, for an example, Canada geese, cacklings, bar-headeds, barnacle, and snow geese and other geese that are from the wild, basically, wild breeds of geese from all over the world. If you're going to want to do that, you're going to want to, again, learn about the different breeds, but also learn about the laws regarding those birds, because where you can own any goose without paperwork when it comes to the domestic breeds, which are basically like farm geese, without needing any paperwork, if you want to own one of those exotic or special breeds, you're going to need to have certain documentations depending on the state you live in or even the country you live in. So, sorry, I got to carry over the water. But that's part of the process. Also, the location you live in can have an effect on what kind of breeds you want, and this applies to geese and to chickens. So like there are some, especially in chickens, there are several breeds of chickens that just simply don't do well when it comes to heat or cold. Like some chickens just cannot deal with extreme cold. Some chickens cannot deal with extreme heat and are much more prone to like heat stroke and such. So you're going to want to be careful with what breeds you get if you're going to get chickens. And you want to look at what size your property is and start slow. So like regardless of whether or not you start with chickens or geese, which chickens in my opinion are easier, because see, your chickens are going to be, especially the hens, not the roosters, but the hens, you're really not going to have much trouble with them. But with geese, if you mess up, they can potentially become not so fun to be around, right? If you like get the wrong breed or don't raise them properly or make mistakes, don't have boundaries with them or whatever, that it's more like, in a way, the way I describe geese, it's like, it's a combination, in my opinion, between three things. It's like having a toddler, a dog, and a cat in one animal, okay? So the toddler is the level of neediness, the dog is the level of like loyalty, and the cat is the level of like mischievousness and like moodiness. So like that's literally how I could describe a goose to you. It's kind of a combination between the three. No problem at all, White Banana. I hope it helps. But yeah. And if you are interested in exotics, by the way, exotic geese, like special goose breeds, there are certain goose breeds that in most states in the US do not require a permit to keep them. And some of those include like the bar-headed goose or the barnacle goose, because they are of European descent and they live in Europe in the wild and they're not generally found in the wild in the US. You're not required to have a permit to own them. In, again, most states, not all states. Some states have a permit requirement, some don't. So you need to make sure that you check your state and figure out that stuff. And if you do decide to go for exotic geese or any kind of ordering outside of your state or kind of meeting up or whatever, be very, very careful and make sure that you check your sources. Make sure that you look at reviews. Make sure you ask people about the place, because there are a lot of scammers out there when it comes to animals in general. It's basically like with the parrots. If you look up buy a parrot egg, you're going to find a bunch of websites that offer buying parrot eggs, when in reality, it's just not a thing. Like, unless you have a local guy, chances of you getting a parrot egg are just about zero. Nobody is shipping parrot eggs in the mail. I also do not recommend buying goose eggs in the mail necessarily, unless you're willing to take the risk, because compared to chicken eggs, in my experience, goose eggs have a very low survival chance when it comes to the male. Just they get shook up so much, and I think it's because there's much more, because they're larger and there's more liquid within. They are much more likely to get shook up, and then the yolk gets destroyed within the egg, and the air bubble gets detached inside, which basically, between those two things, it'll render the egg useless. Whereas chicken eggs, you've got about a 50-50 chance of each egg surviving. And you always want to account for the fact that your eggs will also get thrown around, cracked, shook. So eggs in general from the male are a large risk, but I really wouldn't necessarily, personally, I won't buy goose eggs from the mail. Let's put it that way. I've done it. I've tried it multiple times. In one case, I got 8 eggs in the mail, from Utah to Texas, and not one of them survived. As in, not because they all broke, but because they were all so shook up that they didn't survive. Hi, babies. This is my mixed gaggle. A mixture of domestics and exotics. And I absolutely love them all. Let's go, babies. Let's go night-night. Come on. Let's go night-night. Where's Peach? Peaches. Where's Peach? Peach. Where the heck did Peach go? Peaches. Oh, wait, there you are, derp. Yeah, I was looking for that goose and she was right there the whole time. Let's go, Peach. Come on. Come on, babies. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, babies. So, oh, you're in Scandinavia. Yeah. Well, Scandinavia, I wouldn't be able to help you there with the laws, but I definitely would say just look into it and don't just believe everything you find on Google right away. Reach out to try to find, look up words like exotic breeders near me, game fowl breeders, like whatever the translation is for you in your country, like game fowl breeders, exotic birds, oriental birds, waterfowl breeders, like words like that, to try and see if you got if any breeders will pop up near you, and then the breeders will often be aware of the laws. And then another thing you can, hey Squirt, see, this is my little cackling. She's like a miniature Canada goose. Isn't she just the cutest thing? But yeah, let's go. Come on, Squirt. And then another thing you can do is contact your wildlife people. So whoever you've got in your country that generally manages the wildlife, that takes care of the laws, like the person that punishes people for poaching, or the person that keeps people from hunting when they're not allowed to, or the person that helps when it comes to number control in the wild. The people that give you a permit or license to be allowed to hunt certain animals. I don't know how you guys manage all that, but that's another one of the things that you want to, another group of people you can reach out to there to try and find out about the laws. My point is, don't just believe Google. Because in the US, if I look up, can I own Canada geese legally? Google will tell me no, I can't. When in reality, I legally own 7 Canada geese. So, yeah. Let's go, baby. To clarify, these are not wild geese. These are all domesticated Canada geese, meaning that for several generations since 1920, these geese have been bred in captivity. So several generations of their parents and everything have been in captivity. Basically it's a domesticated gaggle that lives in captivity that some breeders have, that is being bred in captivity, that I was able to purchase some offspring from. So these are not from the wild. These are not rescues or anything like that. Yeah. Hey, babies. Night-night. Night-night. Mama loves you. I'll bring you more food in a minute. Hold on. I'll be right back. Anyways. So, yeah. That is one of the biggest things. Let's see. Have they been bred so they can't fly anymore? Oh, no. They can fly. Now, you'll have to do your own research on this in your own country, but in the US, there's something called pinioning, like to pinion a bird, P-I-N-I, wait, P-I-N-I-O-N, pinion. And when you pinion a bird, you By doing that, you're clipping off the very tip of their like baby wing, which basically keeps them from ever growing part of their wing on one side. It's a permanent way of keeping them grounded, from keeping them from flying. Some breeders in the US do this. Some states require the breeders to do this for some breeds. It's not a normal practice all over the US or anything like that. Actually, most breeders nowadays avoid it, from my knowledge, but it is a common practice still. And you're going to want to find out whether or not your country requires the birds to be pinioned or marked in a physical way, like a permanent physical way in some way. And then another thing to check is, and basically the way that I keep my birds from flying is that as soon as they grow flight feathers, I trim their wing on one side. It's completely painless. I'm not messing with anything that has nerves. It's just the feather. I'm basically trimming the feather halfway, their flight feathers halfway on one side, which prevents them from flying. Now, they're completely fine at that point, and then like it's not painful. You do it once a year, and it keeps them safe and from getting lost or from landing on somebody's property where like somebody's got a dog that's going to kill them, or it's going to keep a hunter from shooting them while they're flying. You know what I mean? Like during hunting season. So you have like options there, but depending on what your country requires, it depends on that. I have two birds that are pinioned. And I talked about this earlier in this live. I have two birds that are pinioned, and the only reason why I have two that are pinioned, I actually don't like it. I prefer my birds not to be pinioned. The only reason I have two that are pinioned is because I did not know that the breeder I was purchasing my two Canada geese from would pinion them. That was the first time I had bought Canada geese. I didn't know that like that was a thing that would just happen. I thought you had to request it for that to happen. So that was my mistake. And honestly, I hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it. But any other bird that I've gotten since, I've always made sure that the breeders would not pinion my birds. On the other hand, if there was a bird that needed a home, like an exotic bird that needed a home, and like they were pinioned, it's not like a reason for me not to get the bird. I'm saying that I don't want to have my birds pinioned if I can avoid it. Like while they're babies, I tell the breeder, if I'm buying a baby, I tell the breeder, do not pinion my bird, please. You know, that's what I mean by that. All right, awesome. I'm glad I was able to help. I hope it'll be helpful for you, and I do hope you have a good night. And yeah, thanks for checking out my live from Scandinavia. Kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna log off here. I gotta go ahead and take care of some other things. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.